Hi guys, I'm Shazad and welcome on our YouTube channel. This is the crash course of the object-oriented programming in PHP. Make sure if you talk about the PHP 4, you have a procedural language. But if you talk about the PHP 5, PHP 7 and also the PHP 8, you definitely use the object-oriented concepts. Like how can you create your classes, how can you create your properties, how can you send a particular values by calling your properties, by calling your methods, how can you call your properties, what is interface, how can you implement your interface. A lot of things we are going to cover in a single video. We're gonna also discuss that which tool we are going to use.
Why I am saying PHP 5? Because in PHP 5 version, they have introduced the object-oriented environment. In PHP 4 was the procedural language. You cannot use the object-oriented concepts in PHP 4, but they have introduced the object-oriented environment in PHP 5. So that's why I'm saying PHP 5. Currently, while I'm recording this lecture, the version of the PHP is 7.2 or 7.2.1. But for now, I'm talking about the PHP 5. Okay, whenever I say PHP 5, that means I'm talking about the object-oriented environment. I'm not going to talk about the version of the PHP. I'm just talking about the the object-oriented environment. So let me introduce myself. I am Shazad Ahmed and I am a lead developer in a software house, and I have created thousands of lectures for my community, and I have more than 14 courses available on internet. So if you don't know about me, just type SHAKZEE on Google. Let's talk about the tools. The tools and the IDE we are going to use in this series is PHP Storm. The IDE is the PHP Storm, and for managing the database we use the data grid, and for the server purpose I have installed the XAMPP in my local environment. Make sure I am the Windows user, so that's why I have a Windows 10. And now this is the IDE. So this is a PHP Storm. If you are working on Sublime, it's totally dependent upon you, and or if you are working on Notepad++, it's totally dependent upon you. So where you can get this ID, type jetbrains.com. So this is the official website of the JetBrains. They are providing best IDEs for the developers. So go to the tools, and as you can see, they are saying the PHP Storm. Click on this PHP Storm. So now they are saying the lightweight smart PHP IDE. Okay, now they are giving 13 days free trial. So you can see this is a 13 days free trial. You can also get the 13 days free trial if you are a teacher or you are a student. Just provide the identity related with your organization, so they will provide you the 1 year free education license. I have already the 1 year free education license because I'm a student. Okay, so now hit the download button, and now as you can see it's saying PHP Storm 2019. Make sure while I'm recording this lecture the version of the PHP Storm is 2019. You can also download the older version, so it's totally dependent upon you. Once you download the PHP Storm, what you just need to install the PHP Storm in your machine. I'm a Windows user, so that's why I should download the Windows version. If you are working on Mac or Linux, you can download the version. Okay, so for the server I have the XAMPP. So as you can see, this is the XAMPP. This is the XAMPP server, and I'm going to use the XAMPP server. If you are working on VAMP, LAMP, it's totally depend upon you. But I'm using the XAMPP. You know very well, if you are working on VAMP, then you have the www directory, but in XAMPP we have the htdocs folder. Okay, so now I have already created the folder. So as you can see, the folder name is PHP. So it's a capital PHP. And if I'm writing localhost, and now I'm saying PHP. Just click on this. So now it's saying the 7.2.5 version. Ignore this. I'm saying that working. Okay, fine. We have PHP folder. We have the PHP Storm IDE, and we have the XAMPP server. But we also have the data grid. So this is the data grid. JetBrains also providing the tool to manage your database. So go to the tools. So now as you can see, you have the data grid. So click on the link. So they are saying many databases one tool. So these are the databases they are supporting. We are working on the MySQL because it's free. Okay, if you are working on Oracle or H2, so we also have the okay. A class may contain its own constants, variables called the properties. We have discussed about the properties in our selection, and also the functions. Functions, that means methods. In object-oriented environments, you always use the term method. Okay, so you have the class, you have the properties, and you have the methods concepts, and definitely you have objects. For suppose I'm going to write a class, I'm going to comment this so you can easily get the code. I have a lot of code available here, so this is the diet, so don't worry about it. I'm going to comment this part. Okay, and I think okay, I'm also comment this. Okay, so now I'm saying I have a class. You can write your class for suppose car, and now two curly braces. So this is the syntax. How can you define your class? Okay, so now every class has the properties. For suppose public, so don't worry about it. If you are familiar with public, I'm saying public var and car name, my car. Okay, so this is the properties. Of course, every object has a function, or every object has a method. I'm saying public. Okay, so now leave it. Now I have one class and one property. So now how can you access this? Before access this, you have to create an object. So how can you create your object? New, and the class name, two curly braces. Now this is the object. If you var dump this, var dump, go to the page, refresh the page, so you can see it's showing you the object, and it's also showing you the C name is this. Okay, so I'm going to new car, create the object. So this is the object. I'm saying obj object 1, and now object. And how can you access this property? So now I'm saying object dash sign greater than sign. So now write your car name. You don't need to use the $sign. Okay, now go to the page, refresh the page. It's fine. You have to echo this. Go to the page, refresh the page. It's saying my car. Okay, so if you have multiple variables, sorry, properties. I'm saying price and I'm saying color. The price is, for suppose, $2,000, sorry, 2000, and the color is, I'm saying red. You can also define multiple properties for suppose company like this. Now if you want to echo all of them, definitely you can call by price and also by color. Now go to the page, refresh the page. It's giving you my car 2000 and the red color. Now I'm saying I have a public function display, and now in this functions I'm saying this dash greater than sign. I'm saying this, going to comment this. Now I'm saying this, then property name, and now copy paste this. I'm saying also the price name, and I'm saying also the color, our color. Why I'm saying this? Because these properties available in the same class, so that's why I'm saying this. This means current. Okay, I'm saying this dash greater than sign, and I'm accessing the same properties which is available inside the class, because we will discuss about the scope of the properties, public, private, protected. Don't worry about it. Now echo these. Okay, go to the page, refresh the page, working fine. So first of all, you need to create an object before accessing any property or any method. You have a single method here and you have 3 properties. Now I'm going to create the object. So how can you create your object? With new keyword and also the class name. I'm saying cars. Okay, you have successfully created. I'm saying obj1. Okay, now Vardam, go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, it's saying you have object named car and you have 3 strings, this, this and this. Now I'm saying that object 1 dash sign greater than sign, and I'm going to use the display method. Okay, whenever I say method, that means I'm talking about the PHP 5 or object oriented functions. Okay, in object oriented functions, object oriented environment, every function is a method. So functions and methods both are the same things, but while working on procedural language, that means PHP 4, we use the term is functions. While working on the object oriented environment, we use the term method. Both are the same thing. I'm saying object and display. That means I'm saying this object, I'm accessing this method. Go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, it's also showing me the 3 things. You can also use the BR. Okay, fine. So in this way you can use the object. Okay, so now go to the page, refresh the page. We have a class card, we have some properties, we have one method to display the properties. Okay, as you can see, we are saying new card. That means we are creating the instance to access the properties and also the objects. Okay, so now I'm saying I have the empty variables name Now I'm saying it's a display, and now I'm saying that comment these bad boys. I have one method to display its display. Now I'm going to create another method. Create. Here I'm saying that this car name this is the car name. I'm going to car name, and this is the car color, and this is the third parameters. I have a car price. Make sure these are the variables, the local variables. These are the properties. I'm saying car name, car color, and car price. For car price and for car color. Okay, sorry. Now you have one method to set the values. Now you can call the second method to display the value. Create an object or create an instance with the new keyword cars. I have created the instance to access the object. So this is the object. Now I'm saying the method create. It takes 3 parameters. So as you can see, 3 parameters. I'm saying car name BMW, and the color is red, and the price is I'm saying 120 or okay 120. Now I'm saying object. Now display. Go to the page, refresh the page. Okay, you have to echo these. That's the page. As you can see, it's saying BMW. Constructor functions are specially designed or special type of functions which are called automatically whenever an object is created. That means whenever you create the object, it's automatically execute the constructor. So you can take the full advantage of the behavior of this behavior. Okay. So now how? As you can see, you have 2 methods. This and this. You are setting the values here, and you are displaying the value here. Okay. By calling this function. But if you define the constructor here, function underscore 2 times underscore, and make sure this is the constructor. Okay. So now you take one parameter for suppose car name and car color and car price. Okay, you are receiving 3 parameters here. Now what you just need to use this, and now car name equals to your car name, and now copy paste. Here you can define second one, third one. Here you can say that this is the car color, and now you can say this is the car price. Okay, so now you are receiving three parameters. You are setting the value which is coming from the here. Now you don't need to call this one because the constructor automatically executed whenever you create the object. As you can see, now you are creating the object. So now what you need, just need to pass three parameters here. As you can see, it's saying car name, car color, and car price. So now here you can say BMW, and now the color is white and the price is 120. Make sure this is the integer. Now what you need, just need to display the car name, price, and color. Go to the browser, localhost, PHP, and hit the enter button. Okay, because I have to start the XAMPP. So this is the XAMPP. Okay, now as you can see, it's saying BMW 120 and the color is white. So you can align. Okay, now you can also add the BR to break the row. Refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's saying BMW white and 120. Okay, so you can take the full advantage of the constructor. For suppose, if you are working on the database, you must connect with your database using some functions in PHP. So what you need, you just need to create the instance with your database in the constructor, and you can call the functions or the method of the database. One of the main advantage of the object-oriented programming is the ability to reduce the code duplication with inheritance. Code duplication occurs when a programmer writes the same code more than once, a problem that inheritance strives to solve. In inheritance, we have a parent class with its own methods and the properties, and a child class that can use the code from the parent. So how can it works? Now as you can see, you have your class card. Go to the page, refresh the page, working fine. I'm going to comment this. Now I'm saying I have another class name BMW or BMW. I'm saying extends. Okay, now I'm saying it's extends to cars. This one. So using this keyword extend and the class name, this is the child class and this is the parent class. Now I'm saying that I'm going to create an object obj equals to new BMW. Now as you can see, you don't have any properties and the methods in BMW class, and I'm going to create the object of the BMW class. Now I'm saying object. As you can see, it's giving you the display, set price. These are the properties and these are the methods, because you have three properties here and you have two methods. So that's why it's showing you two methods, which is display, create, and three properties: car price, car color, and car name. Now execute the display method. It will give you the error. Because in the parent class you have a constructor, so before calling you have to pass 3 arguments. Good. Save the page, save the file, go to the page, refresh the page. So as you can see, it's saying arguments count error. Okay, now I'm saying that I have a 3 methods. Sorry, I'm going to pass 3 parameters. So I'm saying this is BMW C5 version, and now I'm saying the color is red and the price is $120. Now go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, it's also working fine. You can also create as many as object as you want. Or suppose I'm saying that now in this time I'm saying C6, the color is white, and now I'm saying 130. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's saying C5 and C6, white 130. So it's totally depend upon you. So in this way you can reduce the duplication of the code using inheritance. You can create as many as inheritance as you want. For suppose I'm saying class Toyota, and now I'm saying extends to car or extends to BMW. It's totally dependent upon you because it's car is a parent, so that's why I'm saying. Now I'm saying obj1, and here I'm saying new car. It takes few parameters, make sure assigning. I'm saying Toyota GLI, color is silver, and the price is 150. Now I'm saying obj1, and now I'm saying display. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's saying Toyota GLI silver 150. In object-oriented programming, if we were to create a method in the child class having the same name, same number of parameters, and the same access specifier as in its parent, then we can say we are doing method overriding. So I'm going to give you some example. For suppose this is the parent class, which is a car, and now I'm saying in the parent class I have a function, I have a method to display its text. For suppose it's a text method. Now I'm saying echo parent method. Okay, now I'm going to comment these codes so you can easily get the code. Now I'm saying that if I'm creating a car object, make sure in this time I'm going to comment the constructor. Now I'm saying I have obj, that means object. Now I'm saying obj just show me the results in the test method. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's saying parent method. Now if I have a class, another class, for suppose I'm saying in this time I'm saying child class, and it extends to car. Now I'm saying I have a function test, create the test. So now as you can see, it's automatically creating you the function, or I'm saying public function test, and now I'm saying echo child method. Go to the page, refresh the page, fine, because you have created the cars object. Now I'm saying I'm going to comment this, bad boy. Now I'm saying I'm going to create another object of child class. So this is a child. Okay, now I'm saying obj, that means this is the object. Now run this method or access this method, go to the page, refresh the page. Now you can see it's saying child method, because you have the same name. As you can see, you have the same name, and you have the same access specifier. If you are sending the parameters for suppose para here, then you have to send the parameter here if you want to override the method. So now as you can see, now I'm saying that para, if I'm say wait a few seconds, remove this one. Now I have to pass the argument here. I'm saying child. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's saying child. So in this way, you can use the method overriding if you have a same name, same type, same number of parameters. The visibility of a property, a method, or a constant can be defined by prefix the declaration with these keywords. As you can see, you are defining as a public. So these are the keywords. You can prefix your properties and also the methods and also the constants. If you define the public, that means it can be accessed if the class member declared as public, then it can be accessed everywhere. These properties you can access everywhere in child class and outside of the class. Child class, that means outside of the class. If you define the protected, then it can be accessed only within the class itself and by inheriting and parent classes. If the class member declared as private, then it may only be accessed by the class that defined the member. How? For suppose you have a class, I'm going to comment these classes. Comment. Okay, now I have the class card. I'm also going to comment this, bad boy. Now I'm saying I have 3 properties and 2 methods. If I'm creating another class for suppose BMW, and now I'm saying it extends to cars. When I create the object obj, and now with the new keyword new BMW, and now obj, so now if I access this one, I can also, because it's a public, and I can also access this one, and I access also this one, because we have the public accessifier or the public keyword. I'm saying car name, car price, or I can also access taste. Okay, go to the page, refresh the page, because we are receiving one parameter, so we have to pass one parameter here, child. Okay, so now as you can see, I can also access my parent class function and also the property. If I'm accessing the property, so this is the car price, because it's null, so that's why I cannot. Even I also echo this one. And if I'm saying the price is 10, go to the page, refresh the page, it's saying 10. Okay, so now this is the private. Now if I'm saying that it's a protected, it's a protected, and I'm saying my property equals to chexy.com. Okay, so it's a protected property. If you access this property, as you can see, it's not showing. I'm saying property. So as you can see, it's saying call to undefined because it's not a method, it's a property. Now it's a property. Okay, first letter is capital. So it's saying cannot access protected property. You cannot access. If I'm creating the object of the cars, new, it's cars object. Now I'm saying obj. Now I'm saying my property. Go to the page, refresh the page. You can also, as you can see, cannot access protected property because you can only access this property within the class and within the function. So I'm saying echo this my property because this is a property. Now if I'm saying that display obj display. So now go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, it's showing you the chexy.com. If I'm saying that I'm creating the new object of BMW, it's a BMW. Now I'm saying obj, that means object of obj display. Go to the page, make sure save the file, go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's also working fine. So in this way, you are protected working. So now I'm saying that I have private property. I'm saying my private equals to chexy. Okay, now as you can see, it's a private property. You cannot access this property outside of the class. For suppose if I'm going to access this property using BMW class, because I'm using the extend keyword, so that's why I'm using the inheritance. Okay, so now I'm saying my private. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's saying undefined property my private because first letter is capital. Refresh the page. Okay, so you cannot access because it's illegal. Now if I'm creating the object of the cars class, new cars, and now I'm saying this is my obj, that means object. I'm saying obj. Now I'm saying my private. Now go to the page, refresh the page. It's also giving you the cannot access property private class. Okay, so where you can access this one? You can only access your private within your class. So now I'm saying this, it's my private. If I'm saying my private, now here I'm saying obj display. Okay, because if I'm okay, now fresh, it's saying chexy. So now how it works? Public property, you can access the public property constants and also the public methods from everywhere. Okay, now if you using the private, you can only access the private property, private method and also private constants within the class. But if you are declaring the protected, that means it can be exceed only within the class itself and by inheriting and parent classes. But if I have private function, I'm saying my function. Make sure it's a my function. Now I'm saying private function. Okay. Now if you have a private function inside your car class or in your car class, and now if you have a BMW another class and it extends to cars, your parent class, now I'm saying, as you can see, I am creating the object. Now if I want to access this method which we have just created, my function, so my function, okay. Now I'm saying go to the page, refresh the page, it will give you the error. It's saying call to private method, so this method is not available. Why? Because you cannot access the private method outside of the class. Okay, now I'm saying I'm creating the object obj. Here I'm saying new r, and now I'm saying obj it's my function. You can also not access. Okay, now if I'm saying I'm accessing this function here, I'm saying this. Now as you can see, it's displaying my function because this is the private function. Now I'm accessing this method obj. Now display, go to the page, refresh the page. As you can see, it's saying private function. Now if I am going to comment these two properties, now because I have just comment, now as you can see, it's saying private functions. So you always access the private functions in the class, not outside the class. So as you can see, this is the class. This is the class, car class, and you cannot access this method outside of the class. Now this is the private functions. You know very well about the public functions because you can access the public functions everywhere. So keyword static in object-oriented approach describe functions or variables that are not instantiated with a new object. What that mean? You know very well, to access any method and any property, you have to create the instance of the class using the new class. As you can see, we are creating the instance. But you can access the static property and the static methods without creating the instance of the class. So how it works? I'm saying I have a, as you can see, I have a class of cars, you know very well, and now I'm creating a method here, public static function. Now I'm saying it's a static my function, my static. And the function name, for suppose I'm saying my static. So public static function my static. Now without, how can you access this method? Now I'm saying cars. So as you can see, with two columns, you can access the methods. Go to the page. Now I'm going to comment this one so you can easily get the code. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's saying my static method. So this is the scope resolution. This is the scope resolution operators. Now if I'm saying I have a static property, so now here I'm saying public static my static property. Now I'm saying shakesy.com, and now here if I access this bad boy, so how can I do that? What you need, just need to call the class, then two columns, now call the property. Now go to the page, refresh the page. So you have to echo this bad boy because it's a property. Go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, it's saying shakesy. If I'm saying that echo, refresh the page. So now as you can see, you can access this property and this method. So these are the static methods and the properties. So you can always access with scope resolution operators to access the static and static property. The interface allow you to specify a list of methods that a class must implement it. To define an interface, we use the keyword interface. How? I'm going to die this script so you can easily get the code. Now I'm saying I have interface. So as you can see, this is the keyword of interface. Write your interface name. I'm saying I interface, I interface, and the curly braces. Okay, now I'm saying public function my method 1, and now I'm saying public function my method 2. Go to the page, refresh the page. So now as you can see, it's working fine. Now how to implement this interface? I'm saying that I have another class, this is a class. I'm saying this is my class which implements this interface. Okay, now I'm saying public function my method 1. Okay, now I'm saying public function my method 2. Okay, now as you can see, if I'm saying echo working, and I'm saying echo working 2, now go to the page, refresh the page, fine. And now I have to create the new instance to access the methods. I'm saying new my class. I have just created the instance. Now I'm saying this is obj, that means object. Now I'm saying method 1. Go to the page, refresh the page, it's saying working. If I'm saying 2, go to the page, refresh the page, it's saying working 2. So in this way you can create the interface. These are the interface if you are implementing only one method. Now go to the page, refresh the page, it will give you the error. It's saying my class contain one abstract method and must therefore be declared abstract or implemented. For suppose if you have two methods, now it's fine. Now if you have three methods in the interface, public function my method 3. Now go to the page, refresh the page, it will give you the error because you have to implement all of these interfaces. Now if I am saying public function my method, or if I am saying my method 3, that means I have to implement this 3 method. Public, so as you can see, it's saying public function method. If I'm saying public function my method 3, so as you can see, it's saying implement me. If I'm saying that working 3, go to the page, refresh the page, it's fine. Now I have to create the instance of the class. I will assign this instance to my obj, and now I have to access obj. I'm saying method 3. Save the file, go to the page, refresh the page, it's saying working 3. So a class cannot implement. If you have 3 interface, you cannot implement 2 interface. You have to implement all the interfaces you have in the interface class. Okay, you can also use XYZ and whatever you want to add. So the final keyword in PHP is used only for methods and classes. If you use the final keyword while creating your method, that means you cannot be perform the overriding on that method. Or if you're using the final keyword with class, that means you cannot extend that class in future. How? I'm saying guys, so you can easily get the code. Now I'm saying I have a class, I'm saying cars, make sure the first letter is capital. I always use the first letter as a capital. Now I'm saying I have a cars. Now if I'm saying that I have another class, for suppose Toyota or Honda, and now I extend cars class. If I define the public method here, my method, definitely I can access this method. Okay, now I'm going to create the instance of the Honda. Here my new object obj, that means I'm talking about the object. I'm creating the instance. Okay, now I'm saying obj, and now I can access this method. Go to the page, refresh the page. Okay, it's saying my method. If I use the final keyword before class, then it will give you the error. Class Honda may not inherit from final class because you used the final keyword, so you cannot extend this class now and in future. So that's why. So this is the usage of final. Okay. If you use the final keyword with your method while creating your method, I'm saying final function, I'm saying my method 2, and now here I'm saying parent method. Now if you use final keyword, that means you cannot override this method. Now I'm saying function my method 2. Now I am saying child method, and I'm going to create this, and now I'm going to access this method. Now this method, go to the page, refresh the page. Now as you can see, cannot override final method. So this is the usage of final. If you use the final keyword while creating the method, you cannot override that method, as you know I have just discussed. And if you use the final keyword while creating the class, that means you cannot extend that class in future. Like C and C++, abstract class are the classes in which at least one method is abstract. So abstract classes in PHP are declared with the help of abstract keyword, and we will discuss about it. Now what that means, I'm going to comment this so you can easily get the code. Now I'm saying I have abstract class, abstract, now class, I'm saying base. So this is the abstract class. You can write XYZ and anything else. Now I'm saying abstract function my method. Sorry, you cannot declare this. Now you have abstract class and you have at least one method. If you define another method, function, or suppose my method 2. So this is the second method. Make sure second method. This is the abstract method, and this is the regular method. Okay. Now if I extend this, first of all I have another class, child class, or if I say that child class child, and I extends base class. Now I also implement this method. I'm saying that function my method. So as you can see, I have just implemented this method, echo working. Now go to the page, refresh the page. Sorry, it's method, my method. This is my method. Okay, now go to the page, refresh the page. It's fine. You have to use the object. I'm saying I'm going to create the instance of the class. Now I'm saying obj. Now I should say the object. Okay, it's saying working. So you have one abstract class and you have at least one abstract method. So in abstract class you must have one abstract method. So in this way you can use the abstract class and abstract method.
So I hope guys you are enjoying our videos or the courses. If you think we are doing good, thumbs up. Do share our courses with your friends, also on social networks, and please support us by clicking the subscribe button and pressing the bell icon. So thank you for watching.